What the freaking hell? What the freaking hell? I was watching SummerSlam. I was in a great mood. It was a pretty good show so far, other than the garbage that was Dewdrop, Ava Marie, and Alexa Bliss. Actually, Dewdrop's great, but Alexa Bliss and Ava Marie wasn't so great. We get to the SmackDown Women's title match. We find out that not only is Sasha Banks not in the building, there is no explanation given whatsoever, and chaos ensued. What's up? My name is Fred Richani. This is TSC Wrestling. I'm here to quickly recap what the hell just went down at SummerSlam, at least when it comes to the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bianca Belair comes out, ready to go. They announced that Sasha Banks is not in attendance. She's unable to make the match. This was reported, I believe, earlier from Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc. Of course, WWE didn't announce this to the live crowd, so we have no idea what happened to Sasha Banks. Is she okay? She's dealing with a health ailment? Whatever the case may be, and I'm not saying we got to know her medical information, but it would at least be nice to let the fans know, hey, by the way, one of your possible favorite wrestlers, Sasha Banks, is not going to be in attendance. So that was BS. Crowd was booing. Then they replace Sasha with Carmella. Turned out to be a swerve because Bianca Belair cut a promo saying, you know what? I'm going to take care of you, Carmella and Sasha Banks. At some point, you and me are going to be back in this ring. Fine. Becky Lynch's music hits. Looks like she's in wrestling shape. She's got the wrestling gear on. She's got the hair. She's got everything. She's got her boots on. She's ready to go. She beats up Carmella. Stares down Bianca. Huge pop, by the way. I'm really happy to see her. I'm a little bittersweet about, not seeing Sasha. Thought this would have been a big match. Hope she's okay. But whatever. Great moment, right? So then we get to the point where after Becky beats up Carmella, she grabs the mic and she says, hey, how about you and me for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and we blow the roof off this place. Crowd goes wild. Bianca takes her time, says, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. So they shake hands. Becky Lynch hits her with a cheap shot. 1, 2, 3. And I believe in 11 freaking seconds. 11 seconds. In 11 seconds, Bianca Belair's title run since WrestleMania was just wiped off the face of the earth. Becky Lynch won the SmackDown Women's Championship, and chaos ensued. My Twitter feed is blowing up. I can't even speak right now. I'm super pissed myself. Not only am I, full disclosure, a huge Bianca Belair fan, but I'm someone that's actually praised WWE and Vince McMahon for doing a great job in building up Bianca Belair. Becoming one half of the first all-black women WrestleMania main event. That is historic. That is incredible. She's super inspirational. She's super likable. She's hardworking. She's already a hell of a wrestler, and she's only been in the business a handful of years. Like, she is everything you could want in a WWE superstar. Not just a WWE superstar. In a main event superstar. And what do? You have her lose in like 10 seconds to Becky Lynch, who's been out of action since her pregnancy for a year and a half. What the hell is this? Here's the other thing that I have a problem with, okay? And this is something, by the way, that's been mentioned to me by my other friends who also have podcasts who cover wrestling. It's like, I'm not saying you can't do a squash match here and there, but Becky Lynch is not Brock Lesnar. Becky Lynch is not China in her prime, okay? This isn't, Awesome Kong in TNA. And this is very reminiscent of the time when WWE sent Kofi Kingston all over to do media, including on Fox News of all places, to promote the first I think it was the first SmackDown on Fox. And Kofi Kingston's dancing, and he's all happy-go-lucky, and he's doing all this media, and people keep talking about how he's made history, and he has. He did make history. It was great. First African-born WWE champion, great. And then you have Brock Lesnar destroy him. Okay, I didn't like that. But all right, maybe they do a follow-up, right? Maybe they do a pay-per-view rematch or something. Just run it back. Even if you want to run it back in Saudi Arabia, just some kind of continuity that you could pay off with. I mean, after all, it's not just about what you owed Kofi Kingston. It's what you owed all the fans that supported Kofi Kingston. Most notably, all the black fans who supported Kofi Kingston. All the fans who supported Kofi Kingston. And what happened? We didn't get a follow-up. I think a year later, we had Brock Lesnar kill him in the Royal Rumble. That was about it. So here we are. Fast forward a couple years later. Prominent black world champion. Made history at WrestleMania. Returning big white superstar. And they squash him in 10 seconds. Now, I understand there will be a follow-up probably. Hey, maybe Becky Lynch will even turn heel. Great. But did you have to squash? The operative word is squash Bianca Belair. Not that I would have been a fan of Bianca losing in general. I think if she lost to Sasha and they did a trilogy, that's fine. But, you know, okay. If they at least did like an epic match, or maybe not an epic match, but at least like a 10-minute match, a respectable length, and Becky Lynch cheats to win, like, all right, fine. Whatever. Even if Becky beats her clean, I wouldn't really like that too much, but fine. Okay. That's better than a 10, 11-second squash. And this company wonders why they have so much trouble making new stars. They finally made a real, genuine new star in Bianca Belair, and you beat her in 11 seconds. And for people to say, oh, it's part of the storyline, it's this and that, okay. Let me ask you something. When did The Rock in his prime lose in a minute or 10 seconds? Okay. When did Hulk Hogan lose in 10 seconds? When did Triple H lose in 10 seconds? When did Shawn Michaels lose in 10 seconds? When did Bret Hart lose in 10 seconds? When did any of the 4 horsewomen lose in 10 seconds? Did Trish Stratus and Lita ever lose in 10 seconds? I mean, I know they had some short matches in the Divas era, but I don't recall them losing in 10 seconds. Who are the champions that have lost in seconds? A really old Bob Backlund on a non-televised house show against Kevin Nash to make Diesel in 94. The rest? Kofi Kingston and Bianca Belair. Something in common there. I just can't put my finger on it. All I'm saying is this. It may be part of a bigger plan. WWE probably does have bigger plans. They probably do want to follow this up. But, you know, there's something called optics. It's 2021. There's something called optics here. And there's got to be somebody backstage. Forget even the racial component of it. Just there's got to be somebody backstage that says, you know what? We spent 9 months making this woman into a superstar. Or helping making her into a superstar. Obviously, she pulled her end of the bargain. You know, maybe we shouldn't squash her like this. You know what? You could have done a triple threat with Carmella, and Becky could have beaten Carmella. I wouldn't have liked that either, but it's better than what they did here. Now, are both these women, especially Bianca, talented enough to make this feud work? If there is going to be a real feud? Yeah, probably, because they're professionals and they're best in the game at it. But, again, did you have to squash her? No. And somebody is bringing up John Cena, Brock Lesnar. That was a novel concept at the time. That was Brock freaking Lesnar, UFC heavyweight champion. And on top of that, he was coming off of beating The Undertaker, if you remember that. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure that match went longer than 10 freaking seconds. So yeah, I'm sure match quality-wise, if given the opportunity, promo-wise, this feud will be good if they are actually going to follow it up. But the optics freaking suck. Again, just from if you want to just judge it purely from a creative standpoint, the optics suck. And it made Bianca look like crap. And, you know, some people say, well, she could win it back. Yeah, she'll win it back on a show that does not have as many eyeballs here. Yeah, maybe she could win it back on a SmackDown, and SmackDown gets good viewership. But, I mean, SummerSlam. It's one of your pillars. She won at the Royal Rumble. She was victorious at Money in the Bank. She was obviously victorious at WrestleMania. There was no reason to take the title off of her here. You could have done a confrontation instead and have Becky Lynch take her out and look at the women's title and set it up for next month. And if people, and I've had some people in my DM say, well, Fred, what about, you know, all the time? Didn't have a lot of time. You know, Sasha Banks, last minute, this, that, the other thing. Okay, did we really need Ava Marie versus Alexa Bliss on this show? No. The answer is no. It was a rhetorical question. So, anyway, congratulations to Becky Lynch. I'm glad she's healthy. I'm glad she's happy. I'm glad she has a beautiful baby with her husband-to-be, Seth Rollins. But they absolutely did Bianca Belair dirty here. It's absolute BS. And, I'm tired of this crap about heat and everything else. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of all of AEW's creative decisions either. Okay? I'm not a one way or the other with this AEW, WWE stuff. I just like good wrestling, or I'd like to see, well done angles. But you'll get, some stuff that AEW does sometimes, particularly with CM Punk yesterday, and they just kind of let that breathe, and it was a great moment, and that was cool. And here, back to WWE. Heat. We got to get heat. No. Sometimes you don't. But I want to hear from you. Am I out of line? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Leave a comment below if you enjoyed this update. Like, share. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/TSC Wrestling. If you're watching on Facebook, please click that like and follow button. We'll be back in a little bit to recap all of SummerSlam, but I just had to go live here because it was utterly ridiculous to see how they treated Bianca Belair. Until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the matches, and hopefully Bianca will fare a hell of a lot better than Kofi did, because it just doesn't sit right with me. Does not at all.